Rhetorical question, why? We started talking about this in class, so this is to hopefully help you understand it more, reiterate the information, and also maybe give you some practice. So, a rhetorical question in English. This is a question that's asked that you're not supposed to answer. When someone asks a rhetorical question, they don't want an answer. So if someone says, "What's wrong with me?" I guarantee you 99% of the time, they don't want the answer, okay? So keep that in mind with English rhetorical questions. But ASL is very different. So here's an example of English.
I think that works very well, don't you? That's okay. It was a rhetorical question. Don't you know what a rhetorical question is? Yes, sir. I believe it's one. No, that was a rhetorical question too.
Okay, so I love showing that clip because one, it has several rhetorical questions, but it also shows someone trying to answer the rhetorical questions, which you're not supposed to do. Like I said, rhetorical questions in ASL, very different. This is a question that is asked and answered by the same person. So one signer asks and answers it. When you have a rhetorical question, if you were to put it into English, it would just be a normal sentence. So what we're doing is we're taking an English sentence, adding a question word in there. So if we were to reverse it, it would just be a normal sentence. The one we're focusing on is rhetorical question, why? And get the Backstreet Boys stuck in your head for a little bit. You're welcome. True ASL doesn't use the word because. Is there a sign for it? Yes. But in true ASL, instead of using the word because, we change it to the question word why. For a rhetorical question, there's two parts. You have the question part and the answer part, and they each have their own non-manual markers. So for the question part, your head is tilted very slightly to the side. Your eyebrows are raised for the question word. But if we're looking at why, that's a WH question, and you told us to put our eyebrows down for that. Yes, for a WH question, your eyebrows go down. But we are talking about rhetorical questions, and that your eyebrows go up for. So if I'm signing something and it has a question word in it, if you see my eyebrows down, I expect you to provide an answer. If I put my eyebrows up when I'm signing the question word, it tells you that I'm about to give you the answer. And then you briefly hold the question word. The non-manual markers for the question, or the answer part of a rhetorical question. So we just talked about question. Now we're talking about the answer. Get some Miley Cyrus stuck in your head. You're welcome again. So you had your head tilted a little bit. Now you're going to put it upright. And your head is either going to do a nod or it's going to shake. So two options for your non-manual marker in the answer: nodding your head or shaking your head. So if the answer is a positive statement, if it is confirming information or just general information, you're going to nod your head. Majority of the time, you will nod your head in a rhetorical question. But let's say the answer is something negative or something you don't like, maybe it's gross, that's when you shake your head. Think about if you were asking that question out loud and giving that answer. What would your emotions be? If it's something gross, it'll match. Your emotions will match. Your face will match. So whether you nod your head or shake your head should match too. So here is an example that we did in class of the question part. So here's our sentence. I'm hungry because I forgot to eat breakfast. We can split that into two parts at the word because, typically, and the word because changes to why. So now we have our question part and then our answer part. The question part is just I hungry why. We get rid of the apostrophe M because we don't use that in ASL. The answer part, we're looking at this second part. We're still going to follow ASL structure of topic, comment, or time, topic, comment. And that means we have to change anything that's not present tense. We have to get rid of words that we don't use and still follow topic, comment. So think of these are two separate parts. This part over in the beginning, the question part, that is its own part. That's why the question word is at the end of it. And you're going to follow ASL structure. This is its own part, and you follow ASL structure separately for that. So we take out the words that we don't use and we change forgot to forget to make sure it's present tense. And that gives us breakfast, I forget, eat. All together, it would be I hungry why. Eyebrows go up for the question word why. Breakfast, I forget, eat. This sentence is just giving general information, so you would nod your head. Some practice. If you want to pause and try and do this, go for it. I need to go to the store because I need to buy food. Well, let's break it apart at the word because. If my pen will work. There we go. Helps if I click on it, I guess. So we break it at the word because. This changes to why. My lovely writing. You're welcome. So now we have the question part and our answer part. And we need to put them in ASL structure. So looking at it, we can get rid of any of the words we don't use. So we don't use to or the. So getting rid of those. All right, now we have I need go store. Between those words, what's the topic? Store. Well, what's being said about the store? I need go, and then you have your question word. So it would look like store, I need go, why? All right, that takes care of the first part. Now let's look at the answer part. So we need to get rid of to and figure out what the topic is. And that would be food. So it would be food, I need, buy. All together, it would be store, I need, go, why, with your eyebrows up, food, I need, buy. And for that, you would nod your head. Go ahead and pause the video and try and do these. Remember, you're still going to get rid of words, endings that we don't use, and put it in topic, comment. And because changes to the word why. Go ahead, pause, and try that. And we're back. Feel like Dora the Explorer right now. Just kind of talking to myself here. So this first one, I became a teacher because I want to help kids. Well, breaking it apart, and that becomes why. All right, looking at this first part, I became a teacher. Well, we don't use a, and became needs to be changed to become. So now we look at it and figure out what our topic is. Well, it's teacher. Now let's look at the answer part. I want to help kids. Well, we don't use the word to, and we don't need an S. There's no apostrophe, but we get rid of the S. So now, what is the topic here? Kid. So kid, I want help. So putting it all together, teacher, I want, become, why? Kid, I want help. Looking at the second one, so again, breaking it apart at because, changing it to why, and we have don't like, which we know the sign for, and negatives go at the end, but we have a question word. So don't like will go right before why. Make sure you take off the S in pickles. And if I could type it out right now, I would. But the question part would be pickle, I don't like, why? And then they smell bad. You don't have to include they. You can if you want, but you don't have to, because it's understood you're talking about the pickles. So you would just sign smell bad. And for this, you would shake your head. It smells bad. So altogether, it would be pickle, I don't like, why? Smell bad. He failed the test because he didn't study. All right, we break it apart. Changes to why. And looking at this first part. So we need to get rid of the ending. Get rid of the. So now we have he fail test. Out of those, test is the topic. So this would be test he fail, why? All right, now let's look at the answer. He didn't study. Well, we have the word didn't. Okay. With this one, there's no word attached like we had for number 2 where it said like. So instead, we're going to change didn't to not. You would only keep didn't if it was any of the words of don't like, don't know, or don't want. Or didn't know, didn't like, didn't want. Okay? Negative goes at the end. And then he study not. Since this is a negative word, you would definitely shake your head for it. So altogether, it would be test, he fail, why? He study not. I love the Yankees because I was born in New York. Break it apart. We have why. Ooh, that one was rough. Okay, so I love the Yankees. All right, so we take out the. Well, Yankees is a proper noun, so that's going to be fingerspelled. So, looking at the topic now, we have I love Yankees. Yankees would be the topic. So the first part would be Yankees I love why. Now looking at the second part, we don't use the word was. And we're not using in because it's not needed, and you would use in for a different thing in ASL. So now we look at the topic, and it's New York. So the answer part would be New York I born. Altogether, it would be Yankees, where it's fingerspelled, I, and for love, you would sign kiss fist, because you're not saying, there's not a connection, like a deep connection to it. It's saying they are your favorite. So I would sign Yankees I, kiss fist, why, New York I born.